This semester alone, I've done research papers, lab reports, presentations. Last semester, I had a class where every exam I chose to just do all the essay questions instead of multiple choice. It's pretty consistent. I feel like throughout subjects, you have some sort of writing.
So in my rhetoric course that I'm in now, we've had to do different argumentation writing. And so we're making a website and we're actually writing an article, taking a stance on a controversy, and then writing about what we believe. And then I'm also going to be doing a thesis in the next year. And so that's going to be research-heavy writing.
I've taken some history courses and some science courses that have required me to cover some short answers, short essay-based questions, and it's definitely been a bit more academic. But I think that having good writing skills overall makes a nice basis for any kind of writing.
It's definitely made me more aware of advertisements and of how people are trying to get me to want to buy or do certain things. So it's more being aware of how other people are coming at it from an argumentation point of view, or from giving me a perspective of where they're coming from.
Since I've taken my rhetoric course, I'm definitely more aware, I think, of certain techniques to argue a point or to communicate something effectively towards me, especially in advertisements. You're aware of different rhetorical devices they're using to try and draw you into their product.
I think that once you kind of develop an understanding of writing and different practices, it becomes much easier to spot it in the outside world. So advertisements a great example. Just being able to understand why they're doing the things they do.
When you understand what someone else is trying to tell you and you have a critical lens, you're able to decipher what's good information and what isn't, especially when it comes to the news, when it comes to the media.
I think that probably the best place that I kind of see it is kind of in the sports world, because I actually took a class on communication in sports, and so now it's really obvious whenever there's promotions, I understand what each different type of promotion is trying to accomplish, whether it's something that's trying to bring in new fans and get product sales to new people that haven't ever bought from a team before, or whether they're targeting more committed fans that have already purchased items, purchased season tickets.
We're bombarded right now with so much media and information. If you don't have a critical lens to filter it through, then you're gonna end up supporting things and buying into things that are not in your best interest and that may not actually align with your values, even though they pretend or they front like they are. I like to write for myself. I think it's a great way to process your own emotions. It's good for your mental health, and it's just good to document your experience here, because being human, being alive is a rare experience that I think should be respected and documented. These skills, the writing, the critical thinking, is something that can never be taken away from you. There are other things you could study or do where you can get out and you've got a job and you're making 6 figures and it's no worries. But at the same time, the skills you're learning with rhetoric and with thought and with critical thinking, they don't depend on the economy, they don't depend on where you're at in the world. They're transferable to all parts of life, and I feel like these are skills I'm gonna value when I'm 80 years old and I'm telling my life story to my grandchildren. These are skills that are gonna carry with me through all areas of life, and so that's why I think it's important to study writing and rhetoric in college.
So writing and research has been really important in college. There's a lot of essays in college classes. I have to write one for almost every single class that I'm in.
They've been of extreme value to me. As an English major, most of what I do is reading and writing, and I think being able to construct a well-written paper and to argue a point effectively has really helped me make better grades on my papers in class.
There's a lot of writing in college. It's everywhere, whether you're doing presentations, you still have to write your speech out. If you're doing research papers, you have to obviously write those, essays for exams. There's all sorts of writing.
Writing, if it's not your God-given gift, it's not just your natural talent, writing can be difficult, but it's worth it.